did need to change the station railway layout, and so you went to this sort of island platform, which made it much easier to kind of cross over and interchange. And you can see some of the sort of pictures of the new ones, and you can see here as well. You can see the sort of station building with the two, just about see the two chimneys there in those photos. And it was a very well appointed platform. It had toilets and all sorts. Yeah, very exciting, obviously. So business was booming until, and part of that was actually guided by one of my bonus tram facts here actually, is that the first tramway in Europe was actually built here in Highgate. It went up the Archway Road up to Highgate Village, and so this was actually it was an electric tram. It was a cable hauled, very much like San Francisco streetcars. There's a cable that's like laid in a channel in the road and kind of grips onto it. So that was the first one. And then he went over and did San Francisco shortly after. It was the same guy who did that system. So that was Europe's first tramway here. However, the next thing that really sort of popped up by the sort of basically right around 1900 was a replacement there with some of the electric tramways that started springing up all over London. And these were mainly in sort of inner ring suburbs of central London. The sort of city fathers at the time didn't want the tramways to come all the way into central London. So what you'd find, in fact, was a whole network of systems. There's one in North London, one in West London in particular, and quite a large network in South London of these. And they would kind of come up to the edge of central London, kind of up to the river on the south side, and to sort of the inner ring road on the north side. So they'd kind of bring you close to London, but not quite all the way where you actually wanted to go. So that was right around sort of the turn of the century, about 1900, when all these electric tramways started springing up. However, exciting times here in this area in 1907, when the Charing Cross, Hampstead and Highgate Railway opened up. So this was one of these sort of fancy, new, electric, newfangled, deep level tubes. So this is, as we now know it, is part of the Northern Line. So you can kind of imagine what that would have been like. But you can compare and contrast that with surface level, steam railway, slow, starting to look a little bit more old-fashioned. Not as fast, maybe it doesn't take you quite where you want to go either, because this now takes you into the heart of London. It kind of bypasses that kind of coming into the edge of London to, say, Euston Station, or to Finsbury Park, and actually gets you all the way into the West End or to the city to work, for example. And so you started to see this pattern where you'd previously had a pattern of people commuting in from areas like this, that very much what we now know is sort of rush hour commuting patterns, established by having the railways here. You also started to see that it was reinforced by the tramways. But having the tramways, and then they started to do through bookings with this, meant that if you were coming from further north of here, you would you'd often jump into a tram, and because you could get a through ticket, you would bypass a station like this altogether. You'd go a little bit further south to Archway, which a little bit confusingly, where it says Highgate here, this is what we now know as Archway. So actually, where we are is just the next station up in this line. So we're here still on the old steam railway, not on the electric deep level Northern Line tube as that would have been. So rather than get on one of these old steam trains, you just book a through ticket. You jump the tram, and then you get off at somewhere like Highgate, Archway, and then get on that, and then speed all the way through to your actual destination in central London. So stations like this started to decline in revenue. They weren't of interest to passengers, they weren't really being used. You still had a local population who was coming and going from a sort of just your regular sort of commuter, but it wasn't actually very many people. So what the company started to do was actually try and promote this area as being healthy, as being green, as having things like walks, come here like during the day. So they were trying to promote all this this off-peak weekend type travel, just to try and get some more revenue back onto the system. But despite that, revenue